Welcome to the Create Your Happy podcast, where conscious female creators come together with a shared vision to inspire and empower women as they learn how to fully embrace their humanness, find their unique voice, and collaborate on how together we can change the world. I'm your host, Christy Holt, happiness coach and conscious funpreneur on a mission to change the world one beautiful soul at a time. All right, gorgeous, it's time to get curious and become inspired. It's time to create your happy. Welcome to this week's episode of the Create Your Happy podcast. Today I have with me the beautiful Donna Maltz, Mama Donna. And Mama Donna is a positivity coach, eco-entrepreneur, and business consultant, author, blogger, speaker, podcast series host, holistic chef, culinary healing and retreat host. She is the ultimate health solutionist. And we're here to talk today about how living like the future matters can impact all areas of your life. Welcome to the show, Donna. I'm so grateful to have this space, to have this conversation with you. And I would love for you to elaborate on any or all of those pieces of that introduction. You're up to so many incredible things, but I would love to give the listeners a taste of what got you here, because I know that always plays into why you're doing the things that you're doing, right? So give us a little bit of your story.
This is so great to be here with you, Christy. You are so awesome. I don't know, everybody who's listening to this right now, you don't even have to listen to anything else because her vibe is so high. It makes me so alive. Anyway, I am so happy to be here with you, Christy. And let's just start this conversation of living like the future matters, right? And which happens to be the title of one of my books, Living Like the Future Matters, The Evolution of a Soul-to-Soul Entrepreneur. And I wrote this book because it matters. Every single time we think about why this, what am I doing, how come, all those questions, the biggest question is, am I living like the future matters? That is the question we want to be asking ourselves each and every day. Like, am I making a difference in the world with my life? Am I making a difference with my own personal health journey? Am I living like I even care about this beautiful sacred body that was given to me by God, universe, mother, father? Yeah. Are you living like the future matters? When you get up each and every day and you talk to your loved one, and are you saying those kind things so that they feel that they authentically know that you care? Because that is living like the future matters, with compassion and love and kindness for those around us. And everybody knows, who has any kind of conscious mind in this world today, with so much noise and accentuous energy out there, that things go viral. So what do you want to go viral for you in your life? What legacy do you want to live? How do you want to portray yourself on social media? Or do you want to have that medium around you, surrounding you, and that each moment and each second, even if you are posting on social media, content that is inspiring and uplifting, charismatic and caring?
Yeah.
Because the world needs us, Christy. They need our energy. They need the love that your audience has and wants to bring to the world. Nobody needs to be subjected to negativity unless they're, masochists, right? I mean,
yeah.
Are you looking for that? Or are you looking for, yeah.
Right? Yeah, we get what we seek, don't we? So if we can stay focused on seeking the positive aspects, staying grateful and appreciative of what is good in our life, we are then choosing to create, that legacy, that experience that we truly desire, a good one, because we are meant to feel good. That is our intention here, is to feel good in this crazy human meat suit and in this world. It's so fascinating that we're here and enjoying this experience, but ultimately, it's up to us to create the experience that we desire and that we deserve.
Or we get stuck in the mind.
Yeah.
That's why you wrote your great book, Getting Unstuck, right? Yeah. I mean, come on, people, right? We have a choice. then it's our choice to change. It's our choice to open that door and walk out if that stuck behind the door isn't serving you. Because if it's not serving you, how are you supposed to serve humanity? How are you supposed to serve the Pachamama? How are you supposed to serve the greater good of and all the global healing and consciousness that needs to be awakened right now? We get stuck behind these doors of negativity. Sucks. And you want to get unstuck, you hang around 5 people who are free and flowing and going and making things better in the world. You want to make more money, you hang around people who know how to make a lot of money ethically, not people who make a lot of money unethically. That is a big thing from a business coach perspective, like a Soulutionist mindset. Right? You want to be healthier, you hang around people who are healthier than you. And you strive for it and you work towards it and you don't regress, because it'll just leave you in a mess. And that is not where we need to be right now.
No, that doesn't help us to create the life and experience that we desire, and it doesn't help the world. Now, I'd love, Donna, for you to take us back and share some of your story, because I know we've all been stuck at one time or another. We've all gone through some challenges or some obstacles, faced some obstacles in our life that make us who we are, right? We wouldn't have the opportunities to learn and grow if we weren't faced with some of these challenges and obstacles. So I would love for you to share whichever ones you feel most pertinent that have really brought you to this place of awareness, this place of staying in the present now and living now like the future actually matters. Love for you to share a little bit of your story with us.
I would love to do that. Thank you for asking. That's great. Challenges and obstacles. I see those words and I see them as opportunities and challenges of excitement. You know, that kind of person, and it's because I hang around people like that, you know, risk takers, calculated risk takers. And, you know, when a bad situation occurs and arises, I have learned from experience that it doesn't make any sense or has no value to be stuck in the challenge, but the challenge is exciting.
Yeah.
The obstacles are opportunities.
Yeah.
So it's a mindset, it's an attitude. And so how did this all happen for me, and where did this all come from? And you know me, I'm a nature therapist, right? And I love food and the culinary arts, but I have learned most of my wisdom from nature. Because, first of all, the number one thing I always say is the closer you get to nature, the closer we get to our true nature. But if you look in nature, which to me is my God or my greatest teacher, is you go out and you see in a storm how resistant a tree or a bird. I mean, when the wind's howling and it's gusting, how are these trees still standing? How did the birds still wake up singing the next morning? You know, we think we got roof over our head.
Yeah.
We got shelter. We got people around us. We can call 911.
Yeah.
So if you really want to learn and you really want to grow and make something of your life, our lives, get close to nature, because you will learn. You will learn how to dig your roots in deep. You will learn how you are interconnected to every single living being, species on this planet. There is support everywhere when you spread yourself out. And then you realize, man, there's fruit growing over on the trees above my head. There's nuts and seeds and berries, and it's like abundance. But we don't look to that. We go to the grocery store, right? We go to the church. I'm sorry, some people. But I mean, not that that's bad, but you got to also go to where it's really where the fruits of our labor are coming from. And what we've done, what I have done with my experience is all of my businesses, and I have multiple business success stories you can read in my books, or check out my website. they're all centered around being a soil to soul entrepreneur. My businesses were started and intended because my goal was to get people back to nature. I had a restaurant, we never allowed styrofoam in our restaurant. And I started my restaurant in 1982 where there was more styrofoam being produced every day than cells in your body. It was like, it was crazy. It was the craze. Fast food restaurants going up everywhere. And I was serving local and organic food in 1982. So go figure, right? Because I was talking about the closer you get to nature, the closer you get to your true nature back then. Talking about recycling and composting and regenerative. Well, at that time it was more like sustainable agriculture. Now it's not enough to be sustainable,
Right.
So and I had a wedding company. I went national with the first organic cocoa and chocolate syrup in the nation, exposing the fair trade, how unfair it was, and helped get the fair trade movement off the ground because it was so unethical the way we were producing cocoa and chocolate and coffee and all of these commodities that we take for granted every day, by exploiting other people and the earth.
Yeah.
So it's like, how can you be close to nature and know your true nature when you're filling your customers with pollutants, when you're creating a wedding venue that uses more toxic materials and poor flowers? And I mean, weddings are I'm sorry, people, again, but when you really look at how much money people spend on weddings and how toxic the average wedding is and how much waste there is, or a trade show. So these were things that I was doing in a loving way, not by saying don't do this.
Right.
I was saying this is a different way, man. We can use the pine boughs for decorations, and I do wildflower bouquets for my weddings, and I'd have people coming in the back door with fresh fish and crab and vegetables and berries. From my restaurant was in Homer, Alaska, so we were serving the local seafood, right? And so it wasn't about bringing in spam, or Jimmy Dean sausage.
Yeah.
So we really have to living like the future matters, running a business like the future matters, eating like the future matters, loving like the future matters.
Yeah. And what a game changer when we just take that maybe self-focused perspective that so many of us have had, because society is so focused on self. What can I get? What can I get? And we start to connect the dots that we are all connected, that we are connected to nature, we are connected to one another, we are connected to all that is this universe and everything in it. And when we start to see that we are all connected, how can we not love and care for other people, the world, and ourselves at the core, right? Because we care for ourselves as a means of caring for the world and for others, because you're not in any good shape to care for anyone else if you're not caring for yourself.
Yes.
But it's all connected, and it's all so important.
It's juicy, juicy stuff. It's beautiful. Mycelium, the microbial bacteria in our guts. If you look under any kind of a microscope and you look at the brain, it looks like the gut. The gut looks like the soil. There are connections all the way from the soil to our souls. You really, when we focus on that mentality, like anything, like when I'm eating this, am I eating like the future matters? If it's wholesome, whole grains, organic, local, nutrient dense, or am I eating a bowl of cereal with milk from a hormone-infested, tortured cow? I mean, we got choices. Everybody has choices, and the expense is about the same, if not cheaper, to eat healthier. And all this hype about it's too expensive to eat organic and local. Well, then that's when they call Mama Donna.
I mean, it's tricky, right? Because I think a lot of the capitalist world has lost the plot on that, and it isn't serving us. And I think especially in North America, we have gone more towards the fast food and the convenience and the making it easier and cheaper, as opposed to doing the things that really nourish our bodies, the things that really nourish us as humans, as a soul creating in the world. And that's so important.
I'm
We've
so
also
glad.
moved away
Yeah,
from the community part of it as well. And that is also a huge problem when we're, again, out for, just ourselves instead of the greater good. We can really get tripped up there too.
I am so glad you're bringing this up. This is so great. It's perfect timing, because what I write about and blog about and talk about is we are all addicted to the unattainable, unsustainable American dream, which is a very addictive thing. Everything from the way they have designed food to addict us to that, to alcohol, to the marketing, to the addiction to fossil fuels, our lifestyle. This addiction has created personal addiction. I don't care who's listening to this. You either got a shopping addiction, a sex addiction, a sugar addiction, a alcohol or drug addiction. All of us, every single person, it has been studied now, has some kind of either addiction, or if they don't have an addiction, they're either ADD or HD. They're labeled with an addictive kind of condition. And you know what? This brings me back to what you were talking about earlier, which I absolutely love. Is it an opportunity, or, or is it a challenge? If you're someone like me, and hopefully someone like you and everybody else who's listening to this, I love a good challenge. I love to prove those people wrong. I am not going to be one of those 8 billion people, or 742 billion people on the planet, however many is. I'm going to defy the odds any way I can. I am not going to let you define me. I'm not going to let you trap me into this. So you know what I do? I go on media fast. I go on social media fast. I go on NPR media fast. Forget Fox News, NBC News. I don't care who you're listening to. Turn it off.
Yeah.
You turn that shit off, excuse my French,
No,
for a
a lot
couple
of
of
swear here.
months. You turn it off for a couple of months. It's going to take you a couple of months.
Yeah.
And you get back into nature, because the closer you get to nature, the closer you get to true nature. Anything you need to know, the news is out your front door. Go take a walk in a park, get on a bus, move if you have to.
Yeah.
Change your job if you have to. If it's putting you in a state of addiction, which it is probably, I'm sorry, I'm pretty radical when it comes to getting unstuck, honey. That's why
Yeah.
you were on my show. And if
Yeah.
you haven't listened to this woman on my show, woo, she is great when I interviewed her on my show. But I'm talking seriously, we need to defy these odds. And that's what I do as a coach, and that's what I do as just a genuine human loving being on this planet, is just, slap me very much, get me out of this
Yeah.
trap.
Yeah.
Right?
It is a trap. And the worst part of the trap is that it's something we can't see. It's an illusion that it's not a trap, but it actually is keeping us very stuck. I would love for you to explain your viewpoint on what does one's true nature look like? How do you know what your true nature is? How do you discover that? I mean, I know going out in nature, but how do you know you've discovered your true nature, and what does that look like for you?
Oh, good. It looks like goosebumps. It looks like I am high on life
Yeah.
without drugs. It looks like I feel selfless. I feel present. I feel, how can I help you? I feel this overwhelming godly feeling.
Yeah, like the sense of like awe and wonder.
Awe and wonder. Because, God is in all of us, right? So it's like, it doesn't matter the clothes you wear. It doesn't matter the car you drive, the home you live in. What matters is this sense of self and selfless at the same time.
Yeah.
It's an, you know what? I'm trying to do this so people can feel it, but it's super simple.
Yeah.
It's not hard. It's taking the time to know yourself.
That's
That's all it is.
yeah.
Taking the time. And sometimes you get lost. We all get lost, including me. I get lost. And sometimes it takes like crying. Sometimes you cry for a minute. Sometimes you cry for an hour. It takes sometimes physically feeling sick in a sense where you're detoxing demons, right? You're allowing yourself the freedom to expose your inner being and realizing that all these demons of this artificial addictions or people inflicting this upon ourselves instead of like
Yeah.
detox.
It's stripping away the illusions and coming back to who we really are. What I believe we are at the essence, like you said, we're God, we're the divine, we're love.
Yes.
And we are all made of the same energy, and which is why it's so freaking cool in nature to see these patterns repeating, like the pathways in our brain replicate root systems. Like, it's just, if you look into any of this, like nature and all of the ways that we can see these patterns repeating, it's incredible. It's like a miracle. And yet we're so fucking distracted by the illusions of media and having the next thing and making all the money and having this security and all this stuff. We're missing what's always been there, which is this love inside of us.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's such a distraction. It's such a compelling distraction, right? It feels so real, all of these things playing out in front of us. But the truth is, you're making that experience into your reality with your thoughts and the way that you're interpreting and judging it. And so what is real and what is not real? What is real is the divine love within you. That is real. Fear is not real. Fear is the illusion.
Fear takes you away from who you truly are.
Yeah.
Fear, we save fear from when the tiger is running after us. But we have been taught to be fearful of everything, because when you're fearful of something, you're dependent on everybody else or everything else.
Yeah.
So, you get in a state of fear and you're just might as well just, I don't want to say turn it actually. You got to get unstuck.
You got to get unstuck. You got to break free of that illusion. And
how do you do that? You live like the future matters.
Yeah.
We should write a book together.
Yeah. It would be beautiful. It would be so empowering to really step into your power. And we so often, with this distraction of this very grand illusion, it's so compelling and so believable that we think it's all real, until you can zoom out and witness your mind, your ego playing out these fears, these stories, these judgments, and see them for what they truly are, which is not reality, which is the opposite of your intended state, for you to be stuck in all of this turmoil and this distraction and this illusion and this fear. You're not meant to live there.
Here's the thing we want to get super real right now. People need to buy toilet paper still, because there's not enough leaves out there. People still need to eat, and they still need to pay their rent or their mortgages, and they have children to feed. And there's reality that you have to, we're in an economy right now, unless you're going to go totally off everything out there, but then they'll fine you and lock you up because you're on private land. So there's really not, so we still have to play in this world, and we do. But notice I say play instead of work. We still have to play in this world, and that's a whole nother attitude. That means finding a career, finding a job or a business that you are working with, or your own, that you are playing in. You are having fun. It is an attitude. I loved the 10 businesses I created, and the 11th and the 12th ones I'm running now. I love them. I'm playing. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and I make a lot of money. I have made enough money. I'm retired. I was retired 10 years ago, but my motto is why retire when I can inspire? So I keep working at 66. So do the math. I was retired in my early 50s, really.
Yeah.
So but I did it having fun, doing businesses. My wedding company was fabulous. My restaurant, I loved it. Were there hard times? Yes. Running a national company, tough as nails sometimes, especially the men in suits who the only way to get to the top was show cleavage and ass, and I got out of that game. But I want to say that all of them had their tough moments,
Yeah.
but then you come back to the attitude, the opportunity, okay? That's taking that time for self-love, self-thing. You still, so if you or anybody you know is working in a dead-end job, just over broke, and feeling trapped or fearful, and I'm not a shrink or a therapist, I am a coach, but I say help them get help first. So they can get the closer they get to nature, the closer they get to their true nature. That's where you start. But some people are going to need a little more work. Some people aren't worthy. They think they're not worthy of love. They're not worthy of making enough money. But what's enough? Enough has to be what you think is enough. You think is enough.
Amen.
Enough is not what someone else says to you. 5-figure income. What is wrong with $990,000.99? Anybody who needs to make more than $100,000 a year, unless you're living in, Central Park in Manhattan or on, Central, whatever, or San Francisco. I mean, seriously, most places in the world on $100,000, $999.99, you can be fine. I repurpose everything.
Yeah.
I bought my house in foreclosure. It's already almost tripled. I buy all used cars. I buy all my clothing usually at the dump thrift store because they have the best variety. But I mean, who am I? Why am I going shopping to support these companies who are selling? I don't care if it's Walmart or Saks Fifth Avenue. They're buying things that are made by mostly children in third world countries or women who are being abused and working all these hours in sweatshops. Why am I going to support that shit?
It's tough, right? It's so tough because that is so pervasive.
Yeah.
And I think people either aren't aware or they're aware, but they don't know what to do about it.
Well,
right?
Well, living like the future matters. When you get something off a rack, whether it's at a thrift store or garage sale or a fancy department store, ask the question anytime you touch anything, am I living like the future matters? Am I living like the future matters? Ask yourself that question. And it will change your life. Not only that, you will save probably $50,000 a year. I have helped people make more money by saving money with the strategies of how to look at things and how to purchase things. I mean, just in alcohol alone in my lifetime, between me and my husband, if we drank the way my father drank, and bless his heart, my dad was amazing, but he grew up in the Depression, and he grew up when everybody drank and smoked, and every other ad on TV or on the radio was pick up a Scotch or a Marlboro or a Camel or a Martini. And he got stuck in that. And he taught me not to get stuck in that. But if I drank and smoked the way he did, and my husband and I did, we have done the math. We have sat down. We have saved $322,000 to date just from not drinking and smoking.
Yeah.
And not only that, I'm not on any of the drugs he was on.
Right.
So we haven't calculated that yet. So, I mean, there's so many different ways to live like the future matters, to live a more loving, authentic life. You can make your own home brew. I got nothing against that. It's very medicinal. Make your own wine, very medicinal. Beer and wine were made as medicine and to preserve grains and berries and fruits. That's why they were made in the first place. You start pasteurizing, you start doing all this stuff to it, and it becomes toxic. Not just to your body, but to the economy and to society.
And
So
it's a massive numbing strategy, an
numbing.
avoidance strategy. And the truth is, if you get to know your true nature, now, not what society has told you that you're supposed to be, not what society has defined as success or happiness or any of these things, but what you desire. You start redefining that shit for yourself. Now you don't need as many of these numbing and distracting things because you can learn to love and accept yourself, even if you're not exactly where you'd like to be. You can love and give yourself compassion along the journey, because this whole thing is the journey. It's about the journey. It's not about the end destination. It's about every step along the way and really truly having that divine human experience, whatever that might look like for you.
And I love the divine human experience, and it could sound woo woo to some, and I get it, but just take it as a little bit of woo, and take it as like it. Give it a chance, right?
Try it on.
Try it on.
Try it on.
If it fits and it looks good, just wear it. And even if it doesn't look good for a while because you haven't quite adjusted to it yet, give it some time. Things take time. It takes time to change. It takes time to break addictive patterns. It takes time to create new positive habits and lifestyle changes. So give yourself a break. You're worthy. Every one of us is worthy. And it's really time that we start listening to that inner wisdom, and to people like Christy and myself and other people who really do care about the human spirit, who really do care about these types of hard choices that we have to make, and it's so interesting. And recently when I was in Baja, I was doing a detox, and I met this woman who I just adored, and she led up these Al-Anon meetings. And I had never been to Al-Anon or AA, and I'm just like, partly is because they talk about he is the God, it's he this, he that, and to me, it's like God's no gender, and I have a hard time. Words are powerful, right? Marketing is powerful. So, but I went to these meetings while I was in Baja. I went to 4 of them, and I met some of the most incredible, beautiful people, and it was so good. So much of the stuff was really good for somebody. My husband doesn't drink. We don't drink. Celebrate shampooing over New Year's or something, and then I'm like, but growing up like that, and then also hearing so many other stories of that, and realizing, and I loved my father. Absolutely adored my father. He was my hero. He was a workaholic, a foodaholic, a sugaraholic. He was just a lifeaholic, which I am too.
Yeah.
But I'm doing the healthy things. So I'm addicted to like kale. No, I don't eat that much kale. It's too much high in oxalates. But I'm addicted to
nature,
like, on shows and nature, right? And love. If you're gonna put your energy somewhere, you're gonna put things, all your life force.
Yeah.
Put it where it matters, really.
Absolutely.
Put it where it's going to make a difference. Put it where you're going to feel like you are living a legacy lifestyle, whether you want it on your tombstone, or you want it in a book you write, or whatever it is, or you just want your children to want to walk in your footsteps. I mean, how beautiful is that? Yeah. I mean, my son is proud of his mother. To me, that is the greatest thing I have ever done in my life. And I am proud of my son, right? Yeah. So, I mean, we don't have to all be out there changing the world, one child at a time, whether it's our own child or helping another child. It's like, if we teach them how to live like the future matters, they're not going to get stuck. But then you won't sell any books, Christy. Sorry. But if we
there's lots of other people out there still.
No. If we teach our children not to be stuck, they won't need how to get unstuck. But I mean, right now there's plenty of people. Yeah. That was a joke. I was trying to make a joke. It's funny. So I think that that is the greatest gift that any of us can do, is to work with the youth right now and help them see a different way. They're all connected to their phones. They're all totally born with an addiction that is one of the sickest, hardest addictions to break, this social media, this addiction to the phones. And how close can you get to nature when you're connected to this cellular network? and not the network of nature. And we all know, as this whole podcast started, the closer we get to nature, the closer we get to our true nature.
Yeah. That seems like the perfect place to segue into asking if you have any particular offers that you would like to share with the audience, as well as letting everyone know where they can find you if they'd like to find out more about, especially, I want to say, your amazing retreats on your gorgeous property out in Hawaii. So anyways, that's just me getting all fangirl about beautiful places in Hawaii. So let us know, where can they find you, and what do you have that you're most excited to share with them today?
Oh, this is so great. I'm so glad. I think I'm going to get up. I need to move around anyway, but I'll show you what I'm most excited about to share. And also while I'm taking you out here, but this is you see where I was speaking from right here. And actually these are my books. And if you go to my website, donnamaltz.com, you'll be able to find my free chapters of my books. And also you'll see that I am a nature photographer, and all the proceeds from my books and all the proceeds from my nature photography go to support social and environmental causes. Because remember, I'm retired.
Yeah.
So I worked hard to do that. So, and this is my retreat, or this is where I live on the Big Island of Hawaii. And when you go to my website, you'll learn all about my beautiful offerings. And I have several freebies, some great smoothie freebies, for little chapters of my books, other ebooks that I've written. So I want you to take advantage of them all. And the most exciting thing that you can all do if you want a dose of positivity is you'll see on my website, you'll see on there, you can sign up and get in our Facebook group, and you can get a free consultation with me if anybody would like. It's all on the website, donnamaltz.com. There's lots of things. Please join the tribe. There's no hard sells. It's not anything about except offering solutions. That is what my brand is about, and living like the future matters about, and putting the spotlight on beautiful people like Christy here. She was on my show, A Dose of Positivity, which I have a show coming on every Thursday at 7:00 Eastern time. So I hope you'll come on and meet more amazing people like Christy, and change the world together.
Yeah, we're stronger together.
Stronger together.
Awesome. I would love to invite you to share, as always, I like to wrap up my show with something really practical, something that the listeners can go and implement today so that they can start moving towards creating the life they desire. So how can our listeners start right now, in this now moment, living like the future matters? What is a simple thing they can start with?
Asking the question every time you have a decision to make, whether it's a purchase or a destination, is this living like the future matters? And get yourself out into nature every day for at least 20 minutes and breathe oxygen every day. Find the cleanest place you can be and breathe, because that is what life is, right? It's breath. Without our breath, we have death. So I encourage all of you to just ask yourself the question, is this living like the future matters? Am I living like the future matters? Beautiful. So if you do that, your life will get better. You will make more money. You will save more money, and you will be part of the Soul, SOUL solution.
Yeah. Incredible. So a couple of quick updates that I want to just tag on to the end of this episode, because we are going to be doing a few things a little bit differently over the next couple of months here on the Create Your Happy podcast. So number one, I want to share that I have a special season coming out that is entirely consisting of a masterclass series for conscious creators. And now this series is very much in line with what we typically are doing on the Create Your Happy podcast. However, with a little bit more teaching and a little bit more specific practical action steps so that you can go and implement those amazing insights that the people I'm having as guests are sharing. So you can watch for that. There's a teaser coming really soon, and that new series is going to be kicking off next week on the podcast. One other final thing I have to share with everybody listening is that I also have the proof in my very hands of my companion journal to my book, Unstuck for Women, and that is going to be released maybe by the time that this episode airs or very shortly after. So whenever you're listening, check the show notes. You're going to find the link to find out if that is available, or you can join the wait list if it's not. And I'm super excited to get this out there. This is a 90-day compassionate inquiry journey to get to know yourself a little bit better. So thank you so much, Mama Donna, for this amazing conversation, for sharing your insights and your wisdom. And I just encourage everyone out there to get out there and live like the future matters so that you can really, truly experience your true nature. I love you all. Now let's go do some epic shit, shall we?
Yes. Aloha.
Are you ready to break free from self-doubt and embrace a life of empowerment? Introducing the Unstuck for Women Daily Self-Discovery Journal, the ultimate companion to my international best-selling book, Unstuck for Women. This beautifully designed journal will take you on a transformative 90-day journey of gratitude, self-discovery, and personal growth. Each day, you'll dive deep into powerful insights, prompts, and exercises that build confidence and self-love. Align your actions with your desired feeling state and watch as your life transforms. This journal is your key to unlocking the extraordinary woman within you. So get ready to embark on a journey of self-discovery and personal growth like never before. You can order your copy of the Unstuck for Women Daily Self-Discovery Journal today. Unleash your limitless potential. Thank you so much for listening to today's show. I trust you were inspired to take back your power and create your happy. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share the show with women in your life who could use a little extra inspiration today. If you'd like to connect with myself and or today's guest, you can find those details in the show notes. We would love to hear from you. If you've got an inspiring story to share, you can also apply to be a guest on the show at createyourhappy.ca. As always, get out there, have fun, be you, and create your happy.